guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing a full face of a makeup revolution. Most of these products I did get from the advent calendar, but some of these I already had in my collection, which is convenient for sharing with you guys. So let's go ahead and get started with the eyes. And for the eyes, I have the new Revolution Festive Allure palette. Now mine did actually come shattered. I will insert a clip of what this shade over here actually looks like, but this is what my palette currently looks like. And this shade did come shattered. But this is an absolutely gorgeous palette, and of course, as you guys can tell, it is a Huda Beauty. I believe it's the Rose Quartz dupe. I do not have that palette with me, so I just figured we would play with this palette for today. And we are going to start by going in with this shade here called Sublime. Right off the get-go, I can tell you that that shade is more pigmented than I thought it would be, so it's going to take a little bit of effort to blend out. I went in with way too much product. To blend out that shade, I'm going to go in with this shade right here, and that is called Opulence. That shade is a beautiful shade for blending out the edges. Next, I'm going to go into the shade Glam here to deepen up the outer corner. So I'm using a shimmer shade to deepen up the outer corner here, and it's definitely, even with the fluffy brush, coming off with a bit of a sheen to it, which I think is actually really pretty. I do not mind that so much. And I didn't have any issues with that shade Glam performing as a matte. Even though it is a shimmer, it's gorgeous and no problems there. So let's go ahead and go on the eyelid here. And this luster shade is really calling my name, but so is this mauve shade. I kind of want to use this luster shade here. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to actually, let's see here. I'm going to try it with my finger, but I have nails on, so I'm probably going to have to switch to a brush. That is a really pretty shade. I will say when I started tapping it on to start with, it was leaving more glitter than pigment. So I started like slowly swiping it across the lid, and it did give me a little bit of that back pigment that looks really pretty, like that pinky back pigment there. So just to let you know, depending on how you want to apply that shadow, you can get just a little bit of glitter, or you can get a little bit of that pigment as well. Let's move on to the foundation, and I have the Revolution Relove Super Matte Foundation here, and I have the shade F2. If you guys have followed me for a while, you know that over the summer, this was definitely my go-to product. It is a little bit heavier than I'm going for these days, but it is my only Revolution foundation that I have in my collection, so it's the one I'm using today. And solely because I did not wet my sponge, I'm going to go in with my IT Cosmetics Airbrush Blurring Foundation Brush. I rarely, if ever, use a foundation brush, but you guys, this might be my new way to apply this foundation. That blended beautifully and is looking really good on my skin. So this is what it looks like with one side not done and one side done. This does say super matte, but I do find that this foundation is not super matte. It is definitely more of a satin matte or natural matte finish. I will say on this side of my face, it is looking a little cakey, so I just have a mini sponge here that I just wet with some fixing spray, and I'm just pressing it into the skin on this side. I honestly think that's because I put too much product on. For the most part, I have never had an issue with this foundation looking cakey. You just have to be careful how much you apply. This is not going to be something that you can keep applying layers, or you get this lovely like foundation look going on. So this is actually a product that I have used. I'm about down to here. I use this almost all summer long, so I'm very familiar with this product. For concealer, I do not have a Revolution concealer, so I'm just going in with my number 7 Lift and Illuminate. So for setting powders, I actually have 2 powders. One of them is going to be the Revolution IRL Powder. This comes with a pressed version on top, which you guys can see, I know and love. And it also comes with a loose setting powder, which I have completely used up. Now, I also have the translucent baking powder, which is newer to my collection. So this is actually going to be the one that I'm going to use today. And I am just going to use the lid of my e.l.f. because this lid is so tiny. I don't know how you're supposed to use this unless you have like a little palette to pour it out on. So I'm just going to take a little bit of this brush, tap off the excess here, and apply it to my under eyes to set that area. And then I'm going to use my e.l.f. face brush and pick up the rest of the powder and apply it to the rest of my face. Now this foundation is one that does not need to be set. It does dry down completely on my skin, and even with my oily skin, I have found I do not necessarily need to set it unless it's going to be like a 90-degree day and I'm going to be sweating a lot. Then of course I would need to set it. However, I do just like setting it down my makeup because I do use powder products and it just helps it blend a little bit smoother. My lips are really dry, so I'm just going to go in with my Revolution Fortnite Peely Lip Oil. I love this lip oil. It smells like banana cream pie. Mine is almost gone, but it is so good. For my bronzer today, I'm going to be using this little contour palette that I got in my advent calendar, or no, this was actually in a gift set. And I'm going to be using this shade over here. Just gonna take it on my brush, and that looks really deep and dark, but I'm just gonna work with it here. It definitely just warms up the face, right? I will say if you get this kit, this powder here is definitely a very powdery powder. It's very powdery in the pan. So if you are looking for something that is a little less product wasteful of the product wasting. As something that doesn't waste as much product, this is not going to be it, because you are going to waste a lot of product with the amount of makeup that comes in this. For the blush, I'm going to be using this little blush palette that I got in, I believe this was in the advent calendar, and I'm going to be using this shade down here. That might be a little light for me. It's not exactly showing up, so I'm going to mix these two shades here. Now this is definitely more of a natural blush. I did choose the lightest shade here because I've been enjoying more of a natural look. This shade, however, is just a little too light for me, so mixing these two I think gives me the natural flush that I've kind of been enjoying. So let's move on to the highlighter, and I have this one here, the Dare to Divulge, and I believe this one came in the advent calendar as well. And this looks more like a pinky champagne shade here, so this would go really good with the look today. Oh my. Oh my. That is a lot more blinding than I wanted to go for today. Let's see. I might need to tamp that down just a little bit, but this highlighter is definitely a blinding highlighter. I am just going to take the IRL powder and my powder brush and just kind of go over that just a little bit to blend it in, so I don't look like, ooh, I got a nice stripe going on, which I look like anyway. This is a very blinding highlight. If I was doing more of an out there look, I would definitely be digging this highlighter. So I will be reaching for this when I want more of a, yes, that type of look. So for the brows, I do have the brow pencil in medium brown and a clear brow gel. I got both of these in the advent calendar. And while the medium brown shade is a little dark for me, I'm gonna make it work for today. Finishing off the eyes, I think I'm gonna take a little bit of Evening right here on the lower lash line. Okay, so that Evening shade right there is definitely darker on the eyes than it looks in the pan. So that's interesting. For the lips, I have the Revolution lip liner in the shade Chauffeur. And what I will say about these lip liners is they are very, very creamy, and the staying power is not that great, but they do have some really pretty shades. And then I also have the lipstick in the shade Chauffeur, and I really like this packaging. It's very pretty. Okay, you guys, so I'm sure you noticed that I did not use a mascara or a liner. That is because I do not have a Makeup Revolution mascara or liner, and this is a Makeup Revolution tutorial. So I am going to go ahead and go off camera. I'm going to do my hair, do my mascara, and I will be right back. Alright you guys, this is going to be the final look using these Makeup Revolution products. I did just use the mascara that I currently have open. It's the Rude Cosmetics and Peanuts Volume Mascara. And of course I used my Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil in the shade 0. So what do I think about these products? This palette I think is probably going to be the standout of all these products that I tried. This was absolutely gorgeous. Now this is a lot better than normal Makeup Revolution quality. You guys, I have a lot of Makeup Revolution palettes, and these mattes were pigmented off the get-go. And there's a lot of different textures and different formulas in here, and they all performed absolutely beautifully. I had no problems with it, except it being just a little bit more pigmented than I thought. So I really did enjoy that palette. Again, if it's a dupe, I really don't know because I do not have the Rose Quartz palette. This blush palette I really do like. It's very subtle. That is what I wanted for today. I have done a look using these up here, and I will say they are a lot more punchy. This lip combination that I currently have going on, I think is a gorgeous lip combination, but this lipstick really does move, and you guys, it moves really badly. I had it on my teeth while I was filming a video, and for some reason it just moves and gets all over my teeth. This lip liner I really do like. This bronzing palette I think is great. If you guys pick up one of the Makeup Revolution kits, I would say it's this one. This is great for travel. It's beautiful. I love these tones, especially for my skin tone. Oh my gosh, this highlighter. If you are looking for a blinding highlighter, this Dare to Divulge is gorgeous and way over the top for the look that I was going for today. Still a beautiful highlighter, and I still will get use out of this highlighter. It's just not the look that I was specifically going for today. So I did forget this setting spray. I do have the Revolution Glow Fix setting spray here, and let me go ahead and spray my face real quick. That is a very aggressive sprayer. That is super aggressive. Okay, so this is with it sprayed with the Glow Fix Illuminating Setting Spray. I think it added a really nice sheen. So if this foundation is too matte and you are not looking for a satin matte, I think this Glow Fix Setting Spray is a really nice, and I won't necessarily use it on my skin, mostly because I am an oily skin girl, and even the slightest bit of glow like this makes me feel like I'm looking oily. However, I did use it to wet the sponge. I think that is great, and if you have more dry skin and you're looking for that dewy glow, this is definitely a nice setting spray. And that's it, you guys. That is all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and give me a thumbs up, and if there's a specific brand you want me to do a full face of, let me know in the comments down below, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!